I know I'm a little late to the game for this conversation, but it is still ongoing, and so I thought I would put in my 2 cents about the whole Marvel Rivals Sue Storm costume controversy. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Go for a ride down the side. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. All right, so I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. None of the stuff I have in my backdrop is Fantastic Four. I have no Fantastic Four collectibles on my shelf here. I don't even really collect the comics. I have very few. Most of them are them guest starring in other comics. And the only one I'm really crazy about is Fantastic Four Season 1. That is why it is odd for me to talk about it. I always try to coordinate my t shirts with whatever I'm talking about. I didn't have a Fantastic Four shirt, so I ended up just wearing one from my favorite baseball team. So, why am I talking about the Fantastic Four? Because there was this really moronic conversation happening on X and other social media platforms regarding Sue Storm. For those of you who don't know, there's a new Marvel video game called Marvel Rivals, and it's a 6-on-6 multiplayer video game where you do battle against each other, and they've got all kinds of characters from Spider-Man to the Avengers to the X-Men and now the Fantastic Four. So, for some reason, a bunch of weirdos decided to be the morality police for gaming, said that the costume that Sue Storm had was inappropriate for some reason, and I'll put it up here. And also, they didn't like her design, shall we say. Personally, I wanted to talk about this because there's a couple of things we can gather from this conversation. First of all, the people complaining about this are huge hypocrites. What do I mean by that? The people who are complaining about Sue Storm's costume in this game and her character design are the same people who want to put pronouns in their bios and let you know how loud and proud they are about their orientation. So they can get all the way off their high horses about this. Not to mention some of the gaming journalists who decided to jump in and also join in this little hissy fit. They are the same ones who have been pushing more explicit content, especially in regards to people of the same gender, and also forcing trans people to be introduced in games where that wouldn't actually be a thing, depending on where it takes place in history or in the fantasy realm it's in. So, they can all just shut up. They can all just shut up. They do not get to moralize about how a character is designed in a video game after all of the moralizing, after all of the begging for more of this scene and not that scene, of, white and male and straight is pale and stale. Screw that. Okay, I'm not going to listen to them on their stupid high horses, having their smug sense of self importance as they wag their finger online. Yeah, no, not happening. Number two, sometimes the people defending these sort of designs, they kind of take it too far. Some people did do mods to her costume that were a little bit more revealing, and the people defending her initial design and even some of the alternative costumes were defending that. They were arguing for more exploitative type of designs. I'm not for that either. Now, I'm not calling for censorship of video games that have women with more cleavage exposed. Just my 2 cents on it is I do prefer a little bit of modesty in video games. I actually had this conversation with Teresa Yanneris of Spirit Sanctified about this, where I don't have a problem if they want to make a woman look beautiful, but I do think there is a line where it kind of drifts into being inappropriate, especially in certain age demographics, obviously. Now, some people have pointed out that Sue Storm's Malice costume, that's a little bit more revealing. Now, Malice is an evil version of Sue Storm, so her outfit is certainly more seductive and she's more of a villain. With Sue Storm in particular, like I said, I think that this one is sort of a compromise. So she looks beautiful, but it's not a revealing outfit. I would prefer things like that. And that's just a personal preference. I'm not calling for censorship. I'm not saying mods who have a more pervy sense of fashion, shall we say, should be banned from video games. I certainly wouldn't do it myself, but that's just a personal preference. I think that the people supporting this kind of go too far the other direction, and they're almost supporting exploitation versus, keeping it the way it is. And number 3, this conversation is just stupid, period. We shouldn't even be talking about this. Listen, Sue Storm has a really cool costume. You can get different versions of it, and some look like the more classic traditional style, and that works for me and whatnot. Yeah, this conversation is just dumb in my humble opinion. We should continue to play Marvel Rivals. I certainly will be. I think it's fun. I haven't played it a whole lot. I've only played it a handful of times, but I've had a good time. So let's all just calm down. Let's stop moralizing to each other, and let's just play video games and have fun. And you know what? If you don't like the video game, don't play it. And again, I don't want anyone censored who is going either way. This is just my own opinion, and let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the people who are against it are on their high horses and screaming into the void? Do you think the people who are defending it sometimes are taking it too far to an exploitive level? Or do you think the conversation has just been fun and I'm reading too much into it? I would really appreciate your comments. But all that to say, I'm going to keep playing Marvel Rivals. My favorite character is Venom. I love playing as him in the game. I also really like Iron Man. So keep a lookout. I might be challenging you in a round one of these days. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment on what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you would be so kind, head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where you can find more articles, reviews on all kinds of things that are pop culture related. I talk about anime, film, television, and so much more. Best of all, it's free with no ads. You just have to put in your email address or sign up on the WordPress app, and you're good to go. And like I said, I've got all kinds of stuff there, so you're going to want to head on over to StudioJakeMedia.com and subscribe. If you want to support the work that I'm doing, head on over to my locals community. The link is in the description of this video. I post exclusive articles there just for my members. So if you sign up, you can do a monthly subscription or tip those articles. Either way, it is really helpful to guys like me who are just out there trying to make all these different kinds of content. And I want to thank you ahead of time. Guess what? I also write books. I have the supernatural thriller Cacophony. It is about a group of demons who are trying to take over a small town in Texas, but angels are sent to stop them. I also have my sword and sorcery trilogy, The Seven Royals. I've got book 1 is All Good Things, book 2 is Breaking the Stars, and book 3 is On Its Way. I know you're going to be excited about that one. The series follows a group of your favorite fairy tale characters who have to come together to stop a dark army from conquering their lands. Like I said, book 1 and book 2 are out. 3 is on its way, and I'm going to have an announcement about it very soon. Last but certainly not least is my fantasy romance novella, Blessed Child. It follows an elf princess who gets pregnant, and she finds it's a human child, sending her elven kingdom into chaos. But her father, the king of the elves, hires a human knight who is kind of disgraced, but he's on the path of redemption to be her bodyguard, and an unlikely friendship forms between the two of them. It is about courage under fire. It is life-affirming, and you won't want to miss it. Pick up this one or the others, or all 4 on Amazon.com, and leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
'Cause I've been living life right like I